The war in Ukraine started 23 days ago, but judging by the destruction we're seeing in cities all across that country, you might well think that this assault has been going on much longer than that. Entire residential zones are being bombed. Schools, hospitals, bars, shops, museums, theaters, all of them gone. In this war, Russia is apparently making no distinction. Its forces are attacking everything and everyone in its path, and the evidence is in these photos. This one was taken hours ago in the capital city of Kyiv. This is someone's living room. It was destroyed by a Russian bombardment. The owner, clearly in shock, covers his mouth while taking in the destruction. Then there's this photo of an older man looking at what is left of the building that he used to live in the Obolon district north of Kyiv. It's almost as if he's saying goodbye. These are the images of entire neighborhoods now turned into front lines of a war, of people, soldiers doing what they can, using what they have to protect what's left, trying to survive as the sounds of bombs echo through entire apartment buildings, hiding inside their homes, behind windows, protecting what they can, and looking to the outside world, their new world, with absolute fear. All of these photos I've just shown you were taken by the Los Angeles Times photojournalist Marcus Yam. He's been in Ukraine since the beginning of this conflict and is keeping a photo diary of life in times of war. This entry from the past Sunday, March 13th, includes the photos that you see now. It reads, quote, "Dimness sustains, ferrying souls to a broken bridge. A gentle kiss to reassure. Dog paralyzed with fear. Bombardment reaches beyond. Dark smoke paints sky. A journalist killed. Daylight tears." Joining us now, Los Angeles Times foreign correspondent and award-winning photojournalist Marcus Yam, joining us from the capital city of Kyiv in Ukraine. Marcus, thank you so much for being with us. Your photographs are at once illuminating and incomprehensible for the pain that they capture. If you don't mind, I'd like to take our viewers through a few of them. And this one is one of a local resident sort of packing in and trying to clean up a home in a residential building caused by what authorities call a Russian bombardment. This was on March 15th. It's an image of a man sort of taking things off his sofa.
Correct. I had spoken to that man very briefly, and he said it was his blanket that he wanted to save. There was shards of glass all over it, debris, and I was kind of amazed that he still was willing to dust it off and take it out with him. You know, people hold on to things that they consider parts and pieces of their lives, and the bombardment we've seen the last couple of days showcases Russia's scorch earth policy. They've killed more than 200 civilians in Kyiv alone, and it's just awful, just awful. It's been a very, very long 20, something days, and we're all, Ukrainians are all very, very exhausted. And I've spoken to so many people who've, echoed the same sentiment.
Marcus, as I see people arriving here in Budapest, or when I was on the border and watching people coming in, many of them would come in with dogs and cats, their pets, in addition to their children. You took a picture on March 13th of a man named Andrei Kulik, and he is in the middle of the street with a dog. Can you tell me what's going on here?
That neighborhood was just bombarded the night before, and Andrei's dog refused to move and was paralyzed. Andrei wanted to evacuate and couldn't bring his dog with him, and the dog refused to go anywhere. So Andrei took a moment, put everything down, put his head to the dog's head, reassured the dog that everything was going to be okay. And eventually the dog relented and was led back into the home, and Andrei had left the dog behind.
Oh, wow, that's heartbreaking. There's a picture from today's photo diary, which is much more of the kind of thing that people are used to seeing when they think about war. It's a group of soldiers carrying something. That something is a sheet, a fabric that has a dead body in it.
Correct. I had walked into the scene and immediately stumbled into the dead body, and I was just very shocked to see, the position of the body. I mean, his hands were together. It looked like he was asleep. I only I only hoped and prayed that it was painless when it all happened.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to measure what's more sad, those images or this next image that was also from today's photo diary of a man who did not die, but he has come back to his home. We can't see his face, but the caption suggests that he is crying.
Correct. This is a gentleman named Nick, and this is his bedroom, he told me. And he would keep coming back to this bedroom, back and forth from helping his other family members out. But he would just come back, take a peek, come back, go, come back, take a peek, and eventually, from time to time, weep and look for things that, you know, try to hold on to something, and eventually picked up, you know, bags of candy to take with him. It just goes to show, like, he didn't know what to do with all this. I mean, his bedroom was just blown open.
He didn't know what to do, and I have to tell you, as I look through your photographs, it's kind of hard for us to keep it together as we look at them because they so graphically capture what's happening there. How do you manage, Marcus? How do you deal with this? I know you've done this a lot before. How do you take in this grief and this tragedy and process it?
You know, I'm going to be honest. I haven't figured that out. I've been compartmentalizing as much as I can. I remind myself I have a job to do, and, you know, I can't just give into my emotions just yet, because it's not about me. It's about, you know, the suffering of civilians, and it's about the, you know, unjustness of this whole situation. Yeah, I mean, I have to push it all aside, and we try our best. I mean, like I said, I'm only human, but we forge forward.
Yeah. Well, it is only humans we have who are covering this war and taking those images and bearing witness for the world. So please look after yourself, Marcus. We appreciate the work that you've done. The award-winning photojournalist for the Los Angeles Times, Marcus Yam.